free to ask any other questions that you have. I do have a question. I can kick things off if nobody's asking me
Well,
questions.
so did I, till you interrupted Chris answering mine.
Oh, okay. Chris, answer his question. What was his? What your answer to his question? Go ahead.
About my elbow. No, my, elbow.
So what's your question at the end? What's the question at the end of it?
I don't know. It's
more of a comment than a question. It's more of a comment than a question, I think. Just so everyone's aware. So, hey, if you have a question, that'd be very appreciated.
Rude.
Wait, did I get interrupted for actually trying to ask a question? Ocean Willow. And also, we do have sorry, I didn't notice you. We do have a special guest with us, Wit, as well. Ocean, feel free to join if you can speak. What was the guy from last week? What was his name again? Jamie? Sorry, mate, if I'm butchering it.
Jime.
I know it was Jime, and he was like, it's like we go Jime, or something like that.
It's Jime.
Yo, Ocean, how have you been? It's been a while.
What's up, guys? Sorry, hold on.
Sorry to put you on the spot, mate.
No, you're good, man. Don't worry.
When you're touched by an angel, no pun intended,
I just ate some lunch, so hold on, give me a second. Okay. What's up, guys?
Hi, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, it's so awkward when like the questions is answered before it's actually said. How are you? Oh, I'm all right. No. Oh, I saw some stage pictures on Instagram, mate. Have you been competing again?
Yeah, I just finished my season in May, and it was for some reason this season was super taxing on my body. So like my hormone levels and my testosterone were tanked. So my coach and I want to take a little break, nice little break until about December, and then I'll start competing again around like March.
Cool. Feel free to introduce yourself again to the community for anyone who doesn't know who Ocean is.
What's up, guys? My name is Ocean. I'm a competitor, an NPC and OCB competitor. I just wrapped up my second season of competitive bodybuilding, and I got super close turning pro this year. I was 2 spots off. So the 2 guys that won the overall, they got their pro card, and it's just more fuel to the fire. But I came in here probably around, I would say like 4 or 5 months ago, because despite social media, which ruins a lot of things, real bodybuilders, man, they're super insecure, and they have such a small support group. So, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out and look towards Discord, and I found this community, and this community is super great for me because I can kind of say my free will, my 2 cents, without being judged. And most of all, I really try to promote this. Overall, just not bring anyone down. And I don't care if someone's, starting their fitness journey day 1 or they've been doing it for 20 years. You should all treat each other equally. And, I said this before, but there's so much negativity, especially in social media, because that's like how I guess the fitness community has really blown, into these proportions. It was never like this. But now it's just like a constant battle of comparing and putting people down, and I hate that. Honestly, I really hate that. And this community here, even though it is a little smaller and it's getting so big now, which is crazy. It keeps me grounded, and it keeps me, I wouldn't say humble, but it just keeps me like I don't have to like show out for anyone. I don't have to impress anyone. I can just be myself, and that's the reason why I joined this community. And that's just like a little introduction about myself. I just love the fitness community so much.
Yeah, and the best part of your first appearance is you made Mimi cry. No, I'm just kidding. Mimi, where are you? Yeah, just literally
I've tagged her.
I asked her if you accept this nitro, I'm going to ban you. She did win the giveaway last week, and I did give her the nitro, so she is getting banned. So everyone who's been praying for the downfall, it's happened now. I'm just kidding. Thanks for helping out. It was really nice to see real time helping. Because anyone who knows Mimi, she's got a lot of personal stuff going on in her life. Ocean, focus not just on the physical aspect of fitness, but also the mental health and the motivation side of things, which I think is very, very beneficial and important, especially in this day and age, because there's a lot of stuff, as we said, like with social media, body dysmorphia, even having motivation to do simple things, internal pressure, external pressure, all these other stuff. So it's nice to have a nice solid community. And when you were glazing the success of the community, hey, we're not too small anymore, guys. We're 27K. That is technically, if you do the AO maths, that's technically 50K. When you round it up, it's 100K. And you round it up again, it's about 1 million. So cool. Thank you very much, Ocean. Hey, AO maths, right? Thank you very much, Ocean. Guys, if anybody does have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I have here with Chris. Yeah, I have here with me Chris. Chris is a certified personal trainer with over a decade years of experience. Remember, it isn't strike first, isn't strike force. It is what? Strength first. Clip it. Chris, my arms are bigger than yours. I swear to God. Flex off right now. Doesn't count, it's short. Anyway, guys, feel free to raise your hand.
Wow.
I did have a question.
Wow.
We need to do the bingo early. Right, if nobody's raising their hand, I'm going to invite Wit up to speak. Wit is our special guest. Second special guest.
Oh, let's go.
Hey, Wit, how are you doing? Feel free to introduce yourself to the community.
I'm good. Hi, everybody. First time on the podcast, so excited. Thanks for inviting me on. I've been part of this community for just 4 months, unfortunately. I wish I was there with the OGs since the beginning, but I just love how mature this place is. I feel like I've seen a couple servers and there's just all types of shenanigans. But here, everyone's pretty smart, knows what they're doing, and quite supportive of each other. So, love it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining Wit. For those of you who don't know, Wit is also part of upcoming events that we're going to have within the community. I think I've spoken to you about it, Chris. It's going to be an opportunity for you guys to create events, motivate each other, set goals. You know what? I'm butchering it. Wit, go ahead. While no one is asking the question, you just go ahead and introduce yourself properly.
I'm Wit. I work with Clubs app, and we're trying to create. I mean, you guys talked a little bit earlier about how social media is just so negative, and it's quite toxic and very addicting. And it's meant to be like that, right? They want you to get back on the platform, then they can sell more things to you and all that kind of stuff. So we're really creating a space where you can feel more inspired and motivated to get shit done. You're like, hey, I'm trying to do these challenges, or I'm trying to be more consistent. When I first started using it, I wasn't working with them. I just used it for myself and my friends. Like, hey, can we just go to the gym 3 times a week? And I know most of you, maybe you guys are like, you guys do consistently go to the gym, so that might not be your thing. But my thing was, I wasn't even going 3 times or 4 times a week. So for us, we use it as a way to keep each other accountable. It kind of works like a mini Instagram feed, but without the pressure of making the pictures look all nice and stuff. It's just a tracker. And then we upped it where the next month we all put in $20 and we're like, all right, you got to go to the gym and prove that you went there with a picture, and you would lose your money to your friends if you didn't go. So there's kind of that fun option too. The app is completely free. And so I reached out and was like, hey, maybe we could do something with the server where we could sponsor some giveaways or prizes. But it kind of depends on what the community wants. Like, what kind of challenges do we want? Do people want to set up their own challenges? And, to be really transparent, we are a startup, so this is going to be a long journey. I'm not saying the app is perfect, but it is cool. And it's a kind of cool way to do some challenges. I've seen some Discords do challenges, but it's honestly very complex and it doesn't really track anything. Or like Excel sheets, and then you have to manage all this stuff. It's pretty tough. So maybe we can make this a thing, and we'll just see what happens. No pressure, but yeah, it's a little intro. Angel says you guys are lucky to go to the gym. I'm not old enough to go to the gym yet. That's okay. Yeah, I think home workouts are great too. There's lots of YouTube videos you can follow along. You can go outside and go for a run. I think the gym's a trap because I'm like, oh, I don't got time to go to the gym. I'm not going to get my workout in. But really, it should be like, I have time to go on a run. I have time to do a quick ab workout at home.
Yeah. And Angel, if you do want to ask some follow-up questions, feel free to ask. I do see this a lot in the community. A lot of people who are new to fitness asking a bunch of questions makes it feel as if, like, for example, that you might need protein shake, or you might need access to the gym to get started, or you might need specific equipment. I still have the dumbbells that I started with as a kid. Most of the time, I just went to the park. What did you say, Chris? You're antagonizing me again?
Should be outgrown him soon.
Okay. Answer the question then, Chris. Over to you, mate.
What is the question? Is it about home workouts?
Yeah. Just go into how you don't need to depend on a gym or
sure.
These facades and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, training at home just anywhere is a great place to get started. You don't have to have access to a gym. A lot of us started at home without any equipment at all. I know I started just in my garage, doing push-ups, doing bodyweight squats, doing jump squats, doing all sorts of things. Like you can do planks, all ways to move and exercise. Any kind of exercise is great. If you want to build muscle, trying to get some sort of progressive mobility if you can. Get stronger at press-ups, get stronger at some bodyweight squats, get planks, you can do crunches, you can do leg raises. If you want to pull yourself in a door frame, you can work your back with some pulls like that. There's all sorts of ways to move. If you look into calisthenics as well, there's more progression, so you can go to more complex exercises rather than doing more reps. And it's absolutely, and like what it said, you can go outside, get running, get moving. It doesn't have to be lifting weights or doing exercise that way. Just get fit and get moving. Really, what do you think, Ocean? What are your thoughts on workouts?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if you just get moving, and even if you don't have a home gym, I remember when I was a kid and I started working out, I would just do so many variations of push-ups. Like that was the only thing I had was like a chair. I didn't even have dumbbells. I just had a chair. And I learned that you can do probably 30 exercises on a chair. You can do the incline push-up, decline push-up, flat push-up, and then you can start doing crunches, sit-ups. So you really don't need a home gym. And every time I hear someone say that they can't work out, honestly, it's just the effort and attitude. And if they clean that up, they could build a crazy physique just at home using body weight. And I feel like, especially when it comes to the gym, it's just an excuse saying that I don't have a good gym, or the gym I go to has only 80-year-olds and it's all Nautilus equipment. It's super cool, but you don't need all these fancy equipment to get the physique that you want. You can just use your body weight.
What gym do you go to? What gym do you go to with the old people?
Oh, sorry, Wits, you are cutting off a bit. Did you say what gym do you go to? Was that to Ocean?
Yeah, I said what gym do you go to with old people? I used to go to a gym with old people too.
So I go to the gym I go to. I have like 2 gym memberships. So like in the morning before I go to work, I do my cardio and all my ab exercises at the Anytime. I feel like Anytime's like one of the biggest corporate companies, and that equipment is just all Nautilus, all of it. And then I go to a different gym called Smash, and it's like a bodybuilding gym. And whenever I do my lifts after work, I do that. And I learned that after working out at a gym that's just like super old people, they're just going in there so their shoulder doesn't hurt the next day. It kind of like humbled me. It's like I don't need that. I don't need all the fancy equipment. I don't even need dumbbells that are like not rusty. I don't care, as long as you have something. And like you said, get your body movement. Get your body moving. That's all you need. You need to get your heart rate up. And I think the biggest thing for anyone, especially if they're just trying to get big, sort of say, or put on size, is you just need to spike your metabolism. And the only way to do that is exercise and eating consistently.
Yeah, perfectly agree. And also getting motivation from older people. My mom is not too far older than Chris. As we all know, he's the designated granddad in the community. I'm just kidding.
You can't say that we're toxic here.
You started this war, buddy. Toxic. Welcome, Toxic. Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't mean that, Toxic. Chris was the one that said you're the old person. That is crazy. MVP of the community, voted multiple times. Feel free to introduce yourself to people who haven't heard you on the podcast. Go ahead, Toxic.
Okay, guys. Am I coming through? Are you guys hearing me? All right, fantastic.
We hear you.
All right, so let's see what is there to say. I'm the resident old person in chat, I guess. I'm 38. We're currently working as a registered dietitian out of Norway. For those of you who don't know what that is basically a medical specialty that looks at your health and in regards to how you're eating. So it could be overeating, could be undereating, could be medical issues. Currently working at a rehab place for people with rheumatological and heart conditions and stuff. So I try to tell them to eat more and lift weights. And while the gym isn't there are no rusty weights at our place, but they are absolutely old and not the top of the line. But still, as you said, all you need is consistent effort and time, both in the kitchen and in the gym. Easy to say, but hard to do. Apart from that, used to work as a cook, crazy cat lord, and just became a dad in June. So that's pretty much me, I think. Thank you for the opportunity.
Congratulations on becoming a dad. Chris, when's your turn? I'm just kidding. But you need to be nicer to Chris. I've probably done too many shots. But yeah, thank you very much for joining Toxic. I see you helping around the community, especially in the questions of the youth here. Absolutely amazing. So guys, as you can see, and also huge shout out to Wits for joining. We are going to be putting together a lot of events, more events. I know we've got the Plateau Challenge. So guys, if you do have any suggestion on events, I know Chris, you've got one. We still need to plan it out. The good thing is, platform that Wits is using, pretty much, we can host all those events, and you don't have to worry about you having to create all of those things and stressing yourself
out. Oh, thank God.
out.
I'm going to struggle with that.
And we do have a question from Looney. So over to you, Chris. And then, Ocean and Toxic, you can chip in. Anyone else, if you do have any question, feel free to raise your hand. No judgment zone. Simple questions, clarifications, second opinion or third opinion, feel free to go. So after Looney, Steve, feel free to leave your hand up. After Looney, we can go to you, Steve. Over to you, Chris.
Sure, no worries. Okay, so Looney, how you doing? So question, how do you keep yourself accountable when you don't have anyone in your life that's really into fitness? I mainly struggle with consistency and have recently started being purposefully active after a handful of failed attempts. Okay, well, awesome. Congratulations for getting started again. It's really important to do so. The main thing I feel for consistency, well, actually, spoiler, we're going to have a new event coming up soon that's going to be absolutely perfect for you. So this is exactly what you're going to need. But I do think, personally, that consistency is to start small and count all the wins. So I would not go in, if you failed before, you may have a bit of resistance built up against it. You may think, I'm not going to do this. I can't do it. It's not for me. What I think you should do is start with the small wins, set a small goal and achieve it consistently. So it doesn't have to be, I'm going to revamp my whole diet. I'm going to have a perfect diet, every single meal planned out, every calorie to the minute, to the second. I'm going to have the perfect workout routine. What I would do is start consistently having one good meal a day. Just start small. Make that an achievement and be proud of yourself. Actually making that one achievement is a good thing. When you build up positive momentum, you can then do other things afterwards. So you don't go saying I'm going to do 5 workouts a week, saying I'm going to work out once this week. Once you've done that, do genuinely be proud of yourself. Like write it down somewhere. Have a log somewhere. Have it written down somewhere ideally. You can use the community here. It may be really good to have a post here for your workouts. You can place in the forums, people can check in. Find somewhere you can write it down and say, I did this one thing to achieve that. Once you get those more consistency, those wins start to pile up. So instead of having one good meal, saying, maybe I can change one snack today. Maybe I can make a slightly better improvement for that. And the workouts, maybe go to second workout in the week, up to 3. That's absolutely more than anyone needs. 3 workouts a week is a massive achievement. You don't have to be the biggest goals in the world. Be small, be realistic, and let them build up from there. That's my advice for it. So Toxic, Ocean, what do you guys think on this one?
I guess I can go first. I completely agree with what you said. A common tendency is for people to say, oh, well, I want to get healthy, or I want to get better, or I want to get some very huge, very unspecific goal. And so that it can mean anything. And so that if you cannot explain what it is, then you can't measure it. So you have no way of saying, okay, I want to have big legs. Okay. How am I going to do that? Okay, I want to do leg presses 3 times a week, and I want to do 3 times 10, and I want to add 5 kilos a week, for example. Then you're breaking it down into a small, specific, something that's relatively easy to do, and it's easy to check. Have I done leg presses 3 times a week? Yes, no. Okay, did I do 3 times 10? Did I add any weights? And then you keep on doing that, and then eventually your legs will get big. Whereas I'm going to get a little bit healthier, which can mean basically anything. And so it's impossible to have any kind of breaking it down into, well, what's that going to be? I don't know. So it could mean anything, and so it won't be anything. So you need to be small, and you need to be break it down into things you can do, basically.
Yeah, Looney, I agree with what everyone just said, but just to look on the other side of it, because, you know, I'm human too. I've cheated on my diet plenty of times. And I think the biggest thing you have to get over is that, let's say you've been working out consistently for 3 weeks and you don't go for a week. You got to let that week go, and you got to be like, you have to accept the fact that, okay, that was a bad week, but whatever. The week's over. You can't control anything that you can't control. The time you can't control. You can't control what happened in the past already, and you have to move forward. Same thing with your diet. If you can't find motivation, and let's say 1 week you're like, oh my gosh, like I really slacked off on my diet, like you can't fall into the mentality of I can never pick myself up after that 1 week or that 1 month or that 1 year, because I'm telling you right now, it's just never too late to start picking it up again. And I think that for a lot of people, you know, sometimes I see, especially in the bodybuilding community, I see a lot of burnout, you know. People, you know, they work out and then they don't train for 3 months and they burn themselves out completely. And, you know, what Toxic said, you got to build your way up. Start with small goals. This is what we were talking about the entire time. Small little goals, and then progressively go to bigger goals. But, you know, just looking at the side where, you know, is a little bit more sensitive. If you cheat or, you know, you skip out on a workout, you got to let it go. Just let it go and be like, okay, tomorrow I can control whatever I can control to the best of my ability, and you move on for it.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the question, Looney. Yeah, just to chip in, non-expert opinion right over here. If you like, I always say this to a lot of people. If you, and I think Ocean covered it, if you don't meet your goals the first like attempt of doing it, a lot of people get too strict on themselves and it prevents them from wanting to continue. Just try. Recently, my mom wants to get, you know, into like fitness and exercise. I told her just go 1 day in a week, every single week. Every single week in this month. If you can do that, then do 2 next month. Make it easy for yourself. Make the milestones easy for something that's achievable and easy to do. Because if you overcomplicate it, go on freaking Google and you're getting like different routines and all this other stuff in the first attempt, you're gonna be, and I love Tommy, you're gonna end up like Tommy, where you've like created all these barriers of entry. It's a lot easier just to open up Valorant. And the moment you get down that rabbit hole and you're freaking playing Valorant, you're like, it's like giving up on my fitness progress. It's like, what do you mean to give it up? You only just started, mate. It's not even been a year, right? And it's so easy to make that happen. And I see this happen a lot of time where people are like, do I need a food scale? Do I need to, I saw people talking about, was it DEXA scan? There was a debate about like, oh, do I truly have 8% body fat? I need to be on a DEXA scan or whatever. And I'm like, bro, you, I swear to God, you just joined like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, don't overcomplicate it, guys. Cool. Next question. I think Angel has another question. Over to you, Chris.
Look, yeah, and just to finally recap that one last bit, I like to say aim low and avoid disappointment. It's much better to set a small goal and to achieve it than to set a sky-high goal and just feel bad about yourself afterwards. So yeah, aim low, avoid disappointment, stack up those wins. Okay, so we've got Angel. Okay, Angel says, question, you guys? How can I motivate myself? What I realize for myself is that I come to me, try to lose weight and fix myself. I get mad and sad. I don't bother. Do you guys? I'm sorry about English. No problem at all. Okay, so trying to clear what you mean. So how do you motivate yourself? Is that the question? How do you make yourself do things when you don't want to feel like it? How do I also motivate myself because I get mad and sad and I don't get the exercise? So does this mean you get motivated but you get annoyed when it doesn't happen, when you don't get a chance to exercise? What do you do when it goes wrong? Is that the kind of question? Okay, awesome. So it's another side of it, and again, we're going to really this is really good, AO, because this will make my event really, really good, because we're definitely going to cover this as a whole section in the challenge, which is great. So not to spoil it too much, but what you need to do, I think Ocean said it perfectly, is to forgive yourself and realize that maybe you're too ambitious this time. Maybe you need to set your goals low. Maybe you need to just make it achievable. So instead of saying I want to go 5 days a week, say I'm going to go 1 day a week or 2 days a week. And if it doesn't happen, like AO said completely, accept it. So it didn't happen this time, but tomorrow's a fresh day. I've got full control the next day. You can't dwell on it. You can't sit there and feel bad about it all the time. You need to focus on what you can do, not what you can't do, what you haven't done. So, for example, I meant to go to gym today. I didn't go to gym today in the end. I planned it out. I was ready to go. I said everyone in the channel, I said, guys, I'm going to do this today. Upper body lifts. I'm ready to go. And something came up at home. Something came up with my job. Something happened. And I could say, right, I'm a failure. I'm going to give up. I'm going to chuck my whole routine out the window. Why do I bother? But realistically, I think, well, I can go tomorrow. I've got the rest of the year to make up for it. I've got the rest of my life to make up for it. There's so many chances to improve in the future. If you miss one, it's not the end of the world. Just stack up those wins. Realize that you've done well before. You can do this. There's always a chance to improve and build that streak again. So again, don't beat yourself up. Things happen. If it's happening all the time, maybe you need to reevaluate your plan or your goals, or maybe you're being too ambitious. But one time you miss something, it's fine. You can make up for one, it's fine. Don't worry about it too much. Make sure you know you can do better in future. Those are my thoughts anyway.
Cool. Toxic, do you have any other stance, or is it still the same?
Disagree with me. Go on, disagree with me.
I think it's the same question, no? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I would say that what I tend to now I'm talking about what happens in my patients, which of course you guys are not my patients. I'm not giving health advice here, but sometimes things do repeat themselves. And what I do see is that mostly for my patients, people who are trying to lose a lot of weight, is that they wait and wait until things get so bad that they get all fired up emotionally. Like everything, it becomes, they need to be so locked in and hyped up before they do something. And by that time, they're like, okay, I can't lose 10 kilos. I need to lose 200, or I need to be a bikini model when I'm done with this diet. And they set these insane goals for themselves because they run out of emotion primarily, because they feel so bad about something. And I'm feeling so bad. I want to feel better, so I need to have these insane goals. So I would say perhaps to echo of what has been said, in that there will be days, you have to be prepared. There will be days where things don't go according to plan. What is in the army, they say everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Or maybe that was Rocky, I don't remember. But there will be days where things don't go according to plan. You need to be prepared for that, because if anything else is lunacy. And so, so I was going to go to the gym today. Well, I couldn't. Well, okay, I'll go tomorrow. Instead of sitting here feeling sorry for myself, and I'm never going to get jacked. It's there will be times when things don't go according to plan.
Perfect. Lovely answer, both of you. Guys, does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand if you want to come up to stage. I am setting up Reddit. We are going to be doing some Reddit questions as well. Last week when I was like, we're 60K on Reddit. Guys, I have some good news. We're now 61K. The road to 100K on Reddit is growing. And I can see that Chris has already responded to this question, so I do appreciate you. So while I'm setting up for the Reddit questions, feel free to ask your question at random. But before we segue to a random, I do want to do some ad break. Sorry, guys, we've got to pay the bills, even though there's no bills to pay, right? So huge shout out, firstly, to Wit. Wit is one of the partnership managers and supports at Clubs. So Clubs is our new sponsor. We're going to be hosting some events on it. So it's basically like an event planning / community. Anyone who's used Kadu, we did the push-up challenge on Kadu, was it like last year or so? I'm not too sure if any of you guys were in the community then. Absolutely amazing. But Clubs is going to be the same. Host some events there. Plateau Challenge, I'm probably going to host it there. I'm probably going to do some stuff where it's like there's a lot of, maybe it's because of winter season. I'm going to do some mental health stuff, maybe tying with Chris's stuff if he's interested. But huge shout out to them. Sure. Huge shout out to the one and only. Great segue. Chris, thank you very much, Chris. Guys, remember, it isn't Strike First, it isn't Strike Force, it is STR First. Make sure to support Chris, STR First on our platforms. Solid member in the community, helps out on all the platforms. Absolutely amazing. Great person to talk to. Support him as he supported us. Get that high quality coaching. Feel free to reach out to Chris. And for anyone who I've probably interrupted, maybe there's a question or a section within the podcast that you want to listen to again, feel free to watch the full VOD on twitch.tv/AOKing. And I'm also going to be clipping up on the socials, and you'll probably be seeing it somewhere. Cool. Over to you, Randy. Feel free to ask a question.
Yeah, so first things first, I gotta ask, hey, Toxic, how do I get a nice beard like yours?
Well, you see, it starts when you turn 19 and you get bald. And then, yeah, it migrates down, you see. And then, if you're lucky like me, you get really shitty hair genes, so your like arms and the legs and back are excessively hairy. Exactly. It'll also come with age, I think. But some people have better genetics for beard. It helps getting bald.
I don't.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Toxic, on this stage. Jokes aside, I got a real question. So, I wonder about the rest time. So, there are people that talks about like what's the most optimal rest time for hypertrophy, right? And people usually go for 2 and 3 minutes since that's what everybody's doing. But is there any scenario that you would go beyond that if you were to maximize hypertrophy?
Okay,
Or
interesting.
you
Oh,
could
carry on.
actually
Sorry.
like go below 2 minutes, like 2 minutes below that, maybe because of the set not being intense, and you could be able to recover fully. So, like, what is the other scenario that 2 minutes below is good?
Okay, interesting. I think you kind of nailed it on the head there. Generally, the more taxing the set is, and probably the closer you're going to failure as well, the more rest you're going to need to replicate that same effort in a set. So if you're doing, say, a set of squats, you go to maybe a set of 8, and you're just about to get the last rep, you almost hit failure. You know you cannot do another rep. You're a technical failure. That's going to have a much greater demand on your recovery system than, say, doing a bicep curl. Especially, and again, proximity to failure is a big issue here. So I think generally the bigger the movement and the closer to failure you go, the more rest you're going to want. I do think at least 3 minutes is my rule, is what I go to for rest, purely because that gives you a chance to fully recover, and that gives you a chance to give your best effort every single set. I don't believe in doing massive amounts of volume, so I focus on getting the work in through the high quality sets. So I think, and if you take a rest period that's like 2 minutes or 1 minute, yeah, you're going to hit failure in the next set, but you're not going to give your best effort, and you're not going to get a true failure from that set. So I think at least 3 minutes. If it's a bigger movement, if you're getting absolutely close to failure, you're absolutely giving your best. I think 4 minutes is fine. If you're powerlifting, I think you can definitely want to have longer rest between your sets, at least 3 or 4 minutes. But for hypertrophy, realistically, I really think if you need more than 5 minutes rest, your cardio just sucks. I think your just general work capacity is too low that you need 5 minutes rest in between sets. Like especially if it's on like biceps. Like if you need to sit down for 5 minutes after doing biceps, I think you kind of need to look at yourself in the mirror and think maybe I need to get a bit of light cardio in and get the conditioning in. Which you do for zone 2 or zone 3. So yeah, up to 5, I think. Wouldn't really go below 3 unless you're doing a superset, but you guys know I don't agree with that anyway, really. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Joseph?
I mean, yeah, that sounds about. Sounds about right. If I know that some people at the top end discuss for like doing shorter breaks as sort of an intensify technique. But I don't think that's really worth using on beginners. Like if you're really jacked and you want to really, but none here are, maybe AO, but for the rest of us, that's not really applicable. So I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes on average would be fine. And if you need a lot more than that, if you start throwing up in the gym or need a nap, well, then you have other things you need to fix.
Thank you for your answer, Toxic and Chris. I appreciate that.
So clear it up. Any more further questions, follow-up questions? You going to contradict us?
So I got the last question.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that some people here may not have a lot of time, and they were thinking about using superset. And there's also a thing called giant set, right? It's like, could you actually get the same effect as like doing a singular exercise per set? And is there any difference between like doing super and giant set and the normal set?
Yeah, really good question. And you have to make me contradict myself now. I don't often agree with supersets, but if you're short on time, I think they're a really good tool for that. And just for giant sets, anyone's listening here. So a superset is doing 2 exercises back to back without a rest in between. A giant set is basically anything more than 3 exercises back to back in a row. So you could, do a squat into a bench press, into a row, into a curl, for example. That could be a giant set, and you go between all of them without rest, then rest at the end, and go around again like a circuit essentially. I do generally think you'll get better results by doing straight sets and proper rest in between. But if you are short on time and you're willing to put the work in and you've got decent work capacity, I do think supersets are a good way to save time. And it's when I use supersets for myself. So if I'm short on time or energy or motivation, and I think I can't really be bothered doing this set of curls and triceps today, so I'll superset them and get them out of the way quickly. Yes, I don't think that's as high quality as doing them a proper rest in between, but I do think it's better than not doing them at all. That's my personal thoughts on it. I'm not a massive fan of supersets unless it's to save time. And you can get a really nice pump if you can do biceps and triceps, like non-competing supersets are probably better. I'm really not a fan of supersets with the same muscles in a row. So I wouldn't go, say, a hammer curl into a bicep curl, but I might go from a pull-up to a overhead press. I think that's doing opposite movements. What do you think, Toxic? What are your thoughts on supersets and giant sets?
Oh, I mean, I would say that for most people, just getting to the gym and doing something will give them far better results than having an ultra-specific, mega-detailed, paid by IFBB training plan. So if you come and say, yeah, well, today I can't because I got late to the gym because the bus was late or because I had to work extra or because shit happened, well, then I'm just going to do supersets. Fine. It's a tool to squeeze more shit in through less time, and that's perfectly legitimate. Would I do that as the main way of training? Probably not, because I am lazy and I like taking my breaks. My GPP is horrible, but if you need more stuff done in a period of time, sure, absolutely no problem.
How's that work?
Thank you once again for your answer, Chris and Toxic. And that's all I will ask.
Good question. How's your training going?
Oh, mine?
Yes, you.
Oh, okay. So I had talked with Chris in the DMs about my training before, like how I started with my own program and gradually just moving from my own to like a powerlifting program. So far, so good. And right now, I'm recovering for a sickness, as you can hear from like a bit of nasalness from my voice that I'm still recovering, right? And yeah, I think I'm still progressing, although I'm a bit like plateaued because I'm sick right now, but it's all good. That's why I advocate like for the people that started to hop on a program and not just doing things by yourself, because there's a reason why they have a program, so that you don't have overtrain yourself or undertrain. And yeah, if you want to check out what kind of program, you could like go to the hyphen and routines. You could check that out. And that's all I will say now. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, man. I'm glad training's going well. I hope you recover soon and get back in the gym hard. I know you're a strong guy who works really hard, so hope you get back in there quickly.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Randy. Love the FTP or PFP. What the fuck did I say? FTP. I still think I'm at work. Real ones know what an FTP is, right? Thank you very much, Randy. Really do appreciate you. Great segue. We do have a question by 12 Gauge Shorty. Over to you, Chris, about programs and routines.
Yep, no worries. And Ahmed, I see your question as well, so we'll get to you as well. Don't worry, you haven't been completely omitted. So, okay, Shorty, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay, I just got here, so my question may have been answered already, but I'll ask anyway. How does one choose a program? Okay, that's a really good question. We've got lots of programs picked from here, but just basic criteria, you need to think about what you want from your exercise. So do you want to be lifting weights? Do you want to be getting cardio? Do you want to get fit? Do you want to get strong? Think about your goals from there, and then think about how much time you want to dedicate to that. It doesn't have to be 6 days a week. It doesn't have to be 7 days a week. In fact, it probably shouldn't be 7 days a week. You can get great results on just 2 days a week as a beginner, especially. So hopefully someone will be helpful and link the routines here. It's linked to Boostcamp. There's lots of pre-approved workouts in there. You can talk to us in the Talk to Me in Toxic and Fitness if you've got any questions about it, or DMs. I know I've had a chat before. And just think about what you need from the program. Are you trying to build muscle? Are you trying to drop some fat? And make sure your workout aligns with what you want to achieve. You can say basic things. A good thing about Boostcamp is you can go sort it by beginner. You can sort it by how many days a week you want to train. And that's a great way to figure out the best routine for you. And then ask us, and then drop us a tag in fitness and we'll let you know if it's good. Hopefully that was helpful. Ahmed says, wait, I have a question. Every time I work out, people tell me, why am I doing this? And why splits? And why do you stay in the gym a lot? And they tell me my form is wrong and why it's good. And then when they say I lose a bit of motivation, what should I do to motivate myself again? Okay, so you are very much a victim of the current phase of lifting when everyone wants to be an expert and everyone wants to tell everyone that they're training wrong and that their way of training is the only way to succeed. If you know your form's right, which hopefully you do know your form is right, you've put a form check here for us to look at, so you know your form is right. Ignore these people, man. Everyone wants to be an expert. The internet has made everyone an expert in biomechanics and anatomy and chemistry and physics and everything. Everyone seems to know exactly what to do, yet no one seems to actually do it. So if you have a routine, you know, this way you have a good learned people in this community. Like Toxic, for example, who's been around the block before, he's seen all these routines come and go. Talk to someone you trust in this community and we'll let you know if your routine is right. In any gym you go to, people always have a lot to say. People maybe trying to helpful, but a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Like, that's just the case it is. A lot of people want to help someone out. They're coming from a good place, but they don't actually know what they're talking about. So this is where such a good community. There's such a good community here. You've got people you can trust, you can go to for advice, to actually figure out what you're doing, make sure it actually works. So don't worry about everyone's doing in public. Don't worry about people saying to you. If you talk to people you trust on here, stick to the program, and that's how you get results. If you're always guessing yourself, you're always changing your routine. If you listen to everything every single person tells you about fitness, you'll never do anything. You'll never get anywhere. You'll be changing routines every 5 minutes. You'll be completely lost, and you can get 5 different people telling you 5 different things who all sound very convincing and all sound very smart, and maybe even have a bit of muscle on them. Try to trust. Listen to and trust fewer people. The more people you split yourself between, the more you're going to fall between the gaps. So I'm not saying don't trust. I'm not saying only trust me, but pick someone in the community I think you can trust who knows got your best interests at heart, and just stick to the routine, and you'll come out at the end of it. And then people will be asking you what you did to get your results. Just keep it simple. Keep trusted. The plan is always to stick to the program. Hope that was helpful. Toxic, let me know if I've just babbled on too much.
No, I think you made a good point there, and I think one thing you will see if you hang around fitness long enough, you will see that things go in periods. So what's popular today will not be popular in 2 years, and in 5 years something else will people be hung up about. And everyone will have their own different opinions of what to do based on who they are and what they've been through. I, as a former retired powerlifter, I have way more. I am more fond of high volume, like multiple high frequencies in the compound movements, whereas a bodybuilder might not be. So I think it's also important to remember that you as a person, even though you said you have the pure intentions, you don't know everything. There's always the possibility that people who aren't you will be able to teach you something new. But that doesn't mean that they know everything themselves either. And the more you realize how little you actually know, I think it becomes easier to make good choices. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I hadn't thought about that. And then you take that in and you compare it to what you know and what you hear, and then you reevaluate. Because it's always going to be, I mean, no one here has there's not one truth on everything. So you just have to adapt and grow over time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All of us got things to learn. No one's got the exact right answer, but if you focus on one thing for a while, you can figure out what works for you, and they'll go from there. There's no true one answer, unfortunately. People always ask, "What's the optimal routine?" There is no one true sacred optimal routine, unfortunately.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And just sorry to cut you off, Chris, and just to give the Jimbo response, Hamid, I did recently experience something like that recently at the gym. It's because I was doing cardio. As you guys know, I used to run track. I can do long distance for a long period of time. And I have this guy, I go to a bodybuilder gym, is like, oh, it's more optimal to whatever the zone 2 nonsense Chris is always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But that shit is boring. It's like you're sitting at the treadmill, right? In the freaking slanted whatever, just standing there awkwardly listening to music. Mate, I got 50 Cent, Slim Shady, I've got the Jay-Z and what's the
Madonna
rock band?
Madonna.
Well, I've got Madonna as well. Which one is it? I forgot.
Linkin Park?
No, that's Lady Gaga. Whatever, I've got a great playlist. There's freaking nice anime AMVs in the background, and I'm watching on my phone. I'm not just going to be standing there, so I'm just like having like a nice time, and then towards the end sprint. But the main thing is also make sure you enjoy what you do. I see a lot of people. Life is way too short. Like you don't have to. I don't know how to explain. Like, so for example, let's say that the most optimal way to lose body fat when after you bulk and you cut in is to do zone 2 cardio, some nonsense like that. If you're not enjoying it, do something that you enjoy. Play a sport, have fun. Life is way too short. That's just the bro stance. I don't know if the science-based lifters are gonna counteract it, but that's all I'm just gonna say. Sometimes it's just better to have fun. Life is way too short.
I totally agree with that. And yeah, I completely agree with that. And again, there's a difference between what's the best or optimal and also what you're realistically going to do. If you absolutely hate your routine and you're going to set up 5 different machines for 20 minutes before you get any exercise sets done, it's probably not going to happen for you, is it? So you need to balance what's optimal and what's actually going to work and what you're going to do. And again, Ahmed, if people tell you to rest, you said people are having a go at you to hurry up when you've had a 2-minute, 3-minute rests, tell them to work in. Like, you don't need to hurry yourself up. Don't worry about what they're going to say. Just, you want to use the machine, you work in, I'm resting. Like, I'm going to give my best work. Don't let someone else's opinion mess up your workout. Okay, and then Ahmed says, I have another question. What makes us lose fat more, running on a treadmill or walking on a treadmill? Okay, so it's not really which one makes you lose more fat. So losing fat ultimately comes down to calorie balance. So if you have fewer calories than you need, you're going to lose fat. You can do that ideally, you'll do most of that through your diet. Okay, so ideally your diet's going to be set up to have a calorie deficit, so you don't have to do loads of cardio. Because when you rely on cardio to lose weight, you create a lot of extra activity, which can be good, but it's also going to make you hungry and make you less motivated to do things and more tired. So factor that in. Which makes you lose more, running or walking on a treadmill? Well, it depends how long you do it for. This is why it's intensity versus time, how much energy you expend. If you're going to expend more energy doing running, probably, but if you're going to do it for a shorter time, are you going to burn more calories? Maybe not. It's kind of like AO said for zone 2 cardio and stuff. Yes, it's been very popular to recommend zone 2 cardio. Now there's lots of backlash against zone 2 cardio. And it does work, but the thing is, you need to balance what you're going to do and what's practical for you. Like zone 2 cardio is great, but that's because you can do a lot of it. You have to do a lot to get the benefits, which has lots of low impact, is very good. But then realistically, if you've got a busy job, do you have time to do 3 hours of cardio a week? Maybe not, in which case look at something higher up, more intense. So just I do zone 2 cardio, probably more zone 3 now, to be honest, a bit faster. I do it after my workout. I tag it on after my weightlifting every session. I just get on with a half an hour incline treadmill, heart rate between like 140, 150. That's what I do, because it doesn't interfere with my weight training, it doesn't interfere with everything else. I can simply tick it off and go home. So whichever works best for you, what you think you'll realistically do more often. Does that make sense, Ahmed? And again, you say bulking, but you can definitely do cardio during bulking. I think everyone should do some form of cardio all year round, honestly. It's going to improve your mitochondrial health. It's going to make you better at burning fat. It's going to give you better work capacity, so you can work harder in your muscle building sets. So I do think you should be doing cardio all year round. And then we have Looney again.
Can I just make one quick comment?
Yes.
So, as you said, everything boils down to cardio, to caloric balance. What gives you the greatest total amount of calories burned in for the purposes of weight loss? But what a lot of people, I would say, how do I say this? For most people, when they do really high intensive cardio, at least for the beginners, they get really tired from it. And so they tend to be, hunger goes up, so you want more food afterwards. And then you get really tired, so you end up parking your ass on the sofa, which means that, yeah, sure, you can run for an hour and you burn 600 calories. But then in the following hours afterwards, it's likely at least that you'll eat more and you'll burn less. So those 600
100%.
calories can be negated in 2 seconds if you're not intentional about it. Whereas we see that people who walk more, sure, they don't burn as many calories per minute because they're moving at a lower intensity and they have to walk for longer, but they don't seem to get the same amount of hunger and tiredness as someone who runs do, at least not the same quantities.
Mm-hmm.
So which makes sort of the doing. I tend to say that I don't like saying you shouldn't train to lose weight, because the harder you push yourself, you need to push yourself hard, but then you get more hungry and then you get more sulfur-ridden as a result. So do both, but if you run so much that you feel that you're getting the munchies and you want to eat everything in sight and you're feeling completely nuked afterwards, then perhaps dial it down and walk more.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good point, though. It's very. You can absolutely just do an hour on the cardio, running, feeling like giving everything, and then you eat 2 bars of chocolate and you've completely ruined your deficit for the whole week. Like, it's much easier to eat calories. It's much easier to control your deficit through what you eat rather than your activity.
Cool. Before we move on, I think Candias asked a question. If you didn't, mate, I'm sorry for inviting you.
Hooray, favorite part of the podcast. Favorite part of the podcast.
Well, yeah, let me get the Reddit question. If you still need time, Candy, I can just go to the Reddit question, and then we can do some final questions. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
No, I have one if you're ready for it.
You're ready, Candy? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, doing well now, thank you.
All right. So my question is, all right. So let's say you are following a routine and you're at one gym for maybe like a couple weeks. And then you're on the same machine doing this routine. But then life happens and you change over to a new gym. So you've been tracking your progress on these machines, or it's mainly the machines is where this problem is. And then you go to a new gym and you're doing these same machines, but they might be a different brand of machine. And the weights you were lifting on that machine are not as possible for you to do. You have to lighten the weight up. So so if you're doing, like, for example, 180 on a chest press machine at your old gym, but then you're going to a new chest press machine and now you can only do 145 on this new one because it's just for some reason harder. How would you track that? What is the right way to go about, like, taking that into consideration that it's a new machine?
That's a really good question because I think it applies to a lot of people. So what I would do is just focus on the rep range. It's hard, like you said, it's hard to compare. If it was just a barbell bench, that's going to be the same anywhere at whichever gym you go to. But machines are going to have different resistance profiles. Some are going to have harder starting points, some are going to have different leverages. So it's very hard to directly compare them. So what I would do is simply track it as a separate exercise. I would track it as close as the original movement you can. And then I would work out my rep range. Say I'm doing 6 to 8 reps. I would figure out the weight so I get within a rep range, and then I would use that as a new starting point to track from. That's all you can really do. There's no way to directly compare across machines, unfortunately. That would be much easier if it was. Some machines are better than others. Just new reference point. Treat it like a new exercise. And this can be actually really good sometimes because I found this coming from like a powerlifting background. I was very much stuck on the numbers I was lifting for bench press, for example. And that gets stuck in your head sometimes. I need to lift this weight, I lift this weight, I'm this strong, I have to lift this weight. But if you get a new reference point, you don't worry about that so much, and your ego doesn't get in the way. Well, probably not an issue for you, but for me, it certainly was an issue for ego. Like, oh, I'm stronger than this. I should be lifting more weight. If you get a new reference point, that's a great way to stimulate new growth, have a new challenge. So I see it as an opportunity, to be honest. It's a good thing you can do.
Okay, right. Because, like I was saying, there's two. I have the same gym that I go to, but there's two different gyms that I go to, and they have different machines from each other. And I'm like, dang, I was
Right.
doing
Yeah.
freaking 160 or whatever, and then I go to this other gym, and I'm like, I can't do this much on this one. What the heck?
But conversely, if you started that gym first, you'd think, oh my God, I'm so strong on the new machine.
Right. That's why I'd rather go to the new machine first, do the harder ones first.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because the last thing I want to do is go work out with somebody, and then we go on a machine that I've done before, and it's totally different. And I'm like, oh, I could do 160. That's why I would never say what I can do. I would just do it and figure it out.
That's smart.
Yeah,
Exactly. And it's very easy to get caught in the weight, and I find myself doing it as well. But sometimes it's very good to have a real ego check and realize you're actually trying to work the muscle, not use a certain weight. And sometimes the weight is lower than you expect to, and that's fine. As long as you're building the muscle, that's the main thing to do, isn't it? But it is rough on the ego. I do find that. I feel you 100%.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. I get ego checked every day of my life. Reality comes back and slaps me in the face every day. But okay, yeah, that was my question. Thank you, Chris.
Awesome, great question. Toxic, do you have any input on that? Any other points? Have I just monopolized that, unfortunately?
Sorry.
I'd say just treat them as I assuming that you're logging your workouts, writing it down either on the book or a cell phone or whatever. I'd say just treat them as different exercises.
Yeah,
that's
good.
That's a really good point.
I guess I could do that. I use an app to track my workout, so I guess I would just have to put a whole nother exercise
maybe
or whatever.
Perhaps maybe just if you can have a log, like a slightly different machine or something, like even if you log it as like a barbell, even if it's not, just so you have a reference point and then write a little note to yourself in different gym or something. But as long as you can have a record of it to reflect it, is the main thing. I'll make a little note so you know it's a different machine. Or else I do understand if you're on way to log it, if you look back and oh my God, I lost 30 pounds strength this week, what the hell happened? That's going to be confusing.
Right. There is a little notes section. I haven't been consistent about it like everything else in my life, but I do put in the notes, oh, I'm at a different gym sometimes.
Yeah. Well, if you can make that a priority, then it's easier, and it's going to make it easier to track your progress in the long term as well. As we all know, consistency is very important, isn't it, Candy?
Yes, it is. I was going to ask another question, but it's kind of a dumb question. And does anybody else have their hand? Oh,
no,
nobody has their hands up.
We'll allow questions. Okay. No dumb questions.
Okay. But it is dumb, though. But all right, I'll ask it.
Right?
It's stupid, but I'm going to ask it. Anyways, my question is, so you know how we can bulk to gain weight and cut to lose weight? And I guess it's best to do it like in cycles or whatever it's called. So my question is, could we theoretically bulk a day or a couple days and then cut a next couple days, and would it still work?
Toxic.
In theory, yes, you could. However, in practice, it is hard to act. It is strike hard. It is impossible to know exactly how many calories you're taking in, and it is impossible to know exactly how many calories you're expending, because nutrition content in food can vary, your activity can vary, how much you move, how many times you go to the bathroom, how much you sweat. Everything varies greatly. So then doing it per day basis, the uncertainty becomes too big. So this is why we do. I would rather you do it by week or by month than by day. It's easier to get results that way. So in theory, it's practicality, no.
Yeah, Toxic's nailed it there. Like, biologically, yes, it's possible and it can happen, but there's no way of doing it in a scientific or reasonable way that you'll know you can track it or do it properly.
Right, because let's say if you didn't even know your maintenance calories, like how would you find your maintenance if you're eating in a bulk and then eating in a cut? So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, and in the past, people have kind of leaned into it more. Like there used to be much more popularity in zigzagging your calories. So there used to be a big thing of having higher calories and carbs on your workout days, and then having lower calories on your rest days, which sounds okay, but realistically, I've never seen the much point of it. And again, you can't really track it anyway. Just calories in over the day, and then if not, calories over the week. If you go with the average for that, for your maintenance or your bulking or cutting from there, that's much easier to do rather than trying to have 2 bulking days a week, if you know what I mean.
Right. Understood.
A good question. A good question.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have their hand up yet? Nope.
I don't see hands up, but there are some questions in chat we can do, and also you said Reddit as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some text questions, but Candy, I mean, this is the first time you're asking genuine questions. I don't want to be, you know what I mean, Chris? Like, I don't want to bully him like every single week, but then the week he needs help, I'm like, yo, fuck off. So Candy, feel free to ask all your questions. I really do appreciate it. And this week, I'm not going to do the poll because you have asked some good questions. And I do have a question that's similar to yours. If you need time to think about your question, it was about what a lot of bodybuilders do the cut-in process for, like, was it 18 weeks or something like that? I'm always seeing it. It's like 18 weeks. Your cut-in period is like 18 weeks and stuff like that. Is it specifically because of like prep for the shows, or where's 18 weeks coming from? Like, what's the science behind it? Although I
this
know
is
or is it even 18 weeks? I might be butchering it. But
this is why we need Ocean for the questions.
No worries.
This would have been the ideal question for him, really. An ideal question.
Yeah, sorry.
So not a bodybuilding coach or anything. I don't know where you've got 18 weeks from, but I'm sure you've seen it somewhere. Generally, bodybuilders have the goal of bodybuilders is to look the best on stage, isn't it? So you want to be as lean as possible, looking at a level of leanness you can't maintain year round. It's an unhealthy level of leanness you are to display on stage for maybe only for a few hours of a day. To look your absolute best for that. So that's not the kind of cutting people would be doing most of the time. Generally, bodybuilders will have a long and slow cut into the show to try and hold on to as much muscle mass as possible. So this is why we tend to recommend a slow and steady weight loss. It's more maintainable. You can keep it going, keep your muscles. You can do a more aggressive cut, or people call it an aggressive micro cut. But that's going to be a shorter period, and you're more likely to lose muscle on it, and it's also less sustainable. And it's also get more of the yo-yo dieting mentality. So generally, more slow and steady is better. For bodybuilders, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a bodybuilding coach. If we get Ocean on next week, he could be the perfect person to answer this one, I think.
No worries. Didn't mean to put you guys on the spot. I blame Candy Ass because he put that idea in my head when he was asking his question about cutting. Over to you, Candy. If you still have any other questions you want to ask, go ahead. If not, no pressure.
Let me think here.
If you've got any questions, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't. Not yet.
It's all right.
You're not being held hostage. I'll let you get out.
I'm trying.
Like, what do I have to do? Do I have
appreciate
to?
You, Candy.
No, you can just say you don't have any other
Don't
questions.
Let him bully you. Don't let him bully you. Saying I'm going by.
He's not bullying me. It's fine. I feel like I have infinite questions. It's just when I need to ask them, I can't freaking think of them.
Oh, good. Asking questions every week is very helpful anyway, so I appreciate you, Candy.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Candy. Yeah, text questions, and I'll set up Reddit. Go ahead, Chris.
Sure. Let's have a look. So question from Celestial about manufacture and build for accuracy for scales is bodyweight scales. I don't think the scales matter too much, to be honest, as long as they're consistent is the main thing. You can get some electronic ones that will claim to give you a body fat percentage. That's going to be a very rough shot. If you use that just as data, that can be useful. So just be consistent with it. So I'm not saying it's going to give you exact body fat percentage. That's correct. But if you can see then if it goes up or down, that's useful information. Do you have a preference for scales, toxic or anything for your patients or clients? Is there anything you worry about with scales of interest?
I would say that there is only one way to accurately 100% measure anything body related. That's an autopsy.
Yeah.
That's an autopsy. Yeah. The only way to accurately measure body is by autopsy. But you can only do those once, and they usually need you to die first. So it's usually a bad. So every measurement has measurement error in some way. For example, even your bathroom scale at home will have, like, it doesn't know whether you just went to the toilet or not, whether you just eaten a large breakfast or not. It'll still measure your weight. And the same way with the bioimpedance weights, they can give you some more data than just the bathroom scales, but they also, just because of market economics, and they need to be really expensive to be really worthwhile. And the home versions aren't expensive, because if they were, you wouldn't be able to buy them. So their precision is not going to be off the roof. So, but then we start getting into like DEXA scans and body displacement and the sort of medical stuff, which, so no, I mean, you don't even need the bathroom scales really. You could use a measuring tape. You could do the weights you move in the gym. You could do how you feel. I mean, are you getting stronger? That doesn't rely on your weight technically. I mean, so there are lots of ways to measure. And for example, we know that a lot of people can develop issues regarding, let's say, logging calories or weighing themselves regularly. A lot of especially young girls can get this thinness issue with this, and it's also on the rise with young boys as well. So if you don't want to measure, then absolutely you don't have to. Or at least if you want to measure something, track progress in the gym rather than body weight, because it's influenced by so many different factors. So you don't need a better bioimpedance scales. If you want one, sure, but rather save yourself the money and buy some protein powder or something instead.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's quite insightful actually, from a proper pressure from that. Okay, nice. So another quick text question. Hydromorpha says, is it better to do strength training before hypertrophy? Right now, all my weights for my arm X sets are under 20 kilos. Legs differ wildly depending on the machine. Should I do low sets of high rests to build up strength, then switch to more reps with shorter rests for hypertrophy? Right now, most reps are 10, 12, 15 with 90 seconds rest in between sets. Okay, so it depends what your goals are. If you want to get stronger, you may do more strength training, but anytime you get bigger, you're going to get stronger as well. It's a very strong correlation between getting bigger and being stronger at the same time. So what I do for you is I would probably pick a rep range. For you, maybe between, if you're quite new, I would say probably between 8 to 12 reps just as a start point, and have 3-minute rest in between sets. I think that's the best way to get the building up size and strength at the same time. So I don't think you have to wait until you get strong to get big. I think if you're getting bigger muscles, you'll be getting stronger at the same time. So that's my recommendation for you, Hydromorph. Thank you for being so patient and asking that question. Do we have any more text questions? Echo says, is 8 weeks a good bulking stage? So is 8 weeks long enough to bulk for? Well, it depends, really. I'm not a big fan of big conventional bulking, because most of the time when people say bulking, they're gaining much more fat than muscle. 8 weeks is a starting point. You can gain some muscle over that period, but you probably want to have a small surplus for a longer period, really, maybe 12 weeks just to get the most out of it, to be honest. In 8 weeks, if you only aim to gain a pound a week, that's 8 pounds. That's going to be, hopefully, at least half that's going to be muscle, then you're going to cut down afterwards. It just depends what your tolerance is for your fat, how fat you want to get, really. If you have an even smaller surplus, you can do it for much longer. So if you have a very small surplus, you can do it for a year, 2 years, doesn't really matter. It kind of just depends on how tolerant you are to getting fat, in my opinion. And obviously, the more fat you get, the longer or the more uncomfortable the cut is going to be. I don't like getting very fat at all. So if I do bulk, it's a very small surplus, and it's for such a longer period. And then Looney says, we'll get to you, Looney, sorry for this one. Is it healthy or even useful to set specific time goals for yourself, whether it's weight loss or muscle gain, or would you consider it unnecessary, especially as a beginner? Thank you for your question. So Toxic, what do you think? Is it healthy or useful to set specific time goals for yourself, whether weight loss or for muscle gain? Would you consider it unnecessary, especially for a beginner?
That's actually a really good question. I would say that if you're going to set goals, you need to be careful that you set goals that are achievable. If you want to say, I want to lose 5 pounds a week, then obviously, unless you're severely morbidly obese, that's not going to happen. But I do think that if you're setting yourself goals and you include time as part of how that goal is going to be reached, it'll be easier for you to reach it. But do you need to lose weight? I mean, most people, I would say most teenagers don't. Let me just think about this for a quick second. So could you rephrase the question again? Sorry, how it's based off.
Sure. So the question was, is it healthy or even useful to set specific time goals for yourself, whether it's for weight loss or muscle gain, or would you consider it unnecessary, especially as a beginner? So we're talking about the specific time limit, I think. Should you say, I want to lose this weight within 6 weeks, or should I want to gain muscle for 6 weeks, or should it be more loose? Should it be rigid with the time setting? Is it helpful or not to have strict deadlines, I suppose?
I would say that this depends slightly on you as a person, because some people respond well to knowing that, okay, I'm going to do this for 5 weeks, not a day more, not a day less. And some people really don't like it because they get stressed. Oh, but I was supposed to get all these gains in all this time, and now I wasted everything. So if you were one of those persons, then I don't think. I would say it is way easier to plan for weight loss in a period of time than muscle gain, because you can say, well, if I assume that my caloric maintenance is 2.5, then I'll eat at 2,000, and that should estimate on average that should be a pound a week or something, and then you adjust based from there. But I'm going to add 1/2 inch on my biceps every month. I mean, that quickly, I don't know that the math supports that way of thinking that way. So if I were to go for muscle gain goals, I would say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, or I'm going to follow the program and add the weights when the program tells me to, and work on the process goals, the things I have to repeatedly do, and not in this is the result goals of this is what I'm going to get from it. But yeah, I think that everyone should be logging their training. I think that everyone who should try to have some sort of habit goals when it comes to eating, as in eating enough vegetables per day or getting enough sleep, that sort of thing. But so I think that I'm just going to go to the gym and do whatever. I don't think if you do that I think that going about that way will make it difficult over time to have significant progress. So sure, if you want goals, then please do so, but make sure that they're good goals who don't wear on you mentally. Because we go to the gym to have fun. We are lucky enough. We get to go to the gym. We get to work out. This is a good thing. We shouldn't end up worse off than when we start. Then we're doing it wrong, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think having some goals is good. I wouldn't do goals that are unrealistic. I would make sure they're reasonable goals to start with. But you don't need to have strict goals. If you don't have strict goals, then that's fine. Like, you don't have to be driven all the time. You don't have to be 100% gym focused. You can say, I want to generally get fit, and that can be fine as well. A question from Looney says, not sure how to formulate this one, but considering how weight fluctuation and not losing weight after a certain amount of time being in a calorie deficit, is it necessary, does it help to have strategic refeeds, or better said, have an amount of time you spend in your maintenance and then get back into your deficit? Right. Yes, I think so. I think if you're going for a particularly long cut, I think especially how severe your cut is as well. If you're maybe doing a 500 calorie deficit, you should be reasonably losing weight at a steady pace. You should be losing maybe a pound a week. You should be doing that. It should be reasonable, sustainable. I don't think that's really going to necessitate a refeed. If you are not losing weight after, say, 2 or 3 weeks of that deficit, you need to look at your tracking and maybe consider your metabolic rate is downgrade a little bit, maybe you need to be more active, maybe something else, numbers isn't working. However, if you're going for a more severe cut, say you've something like you want to lose a lot of weight very quickly because you're very overweight, and you have maybe a 1,000 calorie deficit, you're losing maybe 2 pounds a week, maybe even more if you very severe deficit. In that case, yeah, having a diet break and maintenance would be very beneficial for you psychologically and physically as well. So I do think if it's a slow and steady cut, I don't think you're going to need a refeed most of the time. It should be built in and be reasonable and accountable. It shouldn't be too draining on you. But if you're going for a very aggressive cut, then yeah, I do think having 2 or 3 weeks that maintenance can be a really good mental and physical break before going back to deficit. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, have I missed any questions? If I have, you want me and Tox to answer them, please tag me and I'll get to them now. If not, we're going to the Reddit. Looney, awesome, great. And Jason, go to sleep. If not, okay, hey, I think we're ready for Reddit now, I think.
Oh no, I think he was adding that sleep is also important. I don't know, to the previous question or the two previous
Toxic said sleep's important already. Toxic's already said sleep's important, and that's
No,
why the
no,
sad
you-
is not getting sleep.
Oh, I see, I get it. Guys, remember, sleep is very important. As I said, that it's almost 11 p.m. for me, right?
Yeah, right.
And I'm up at like 6.
Do as I say, not as I do.
I know, right?
What are you at 6 in the morning on Sunday? What are you at 6 in the morning on Sunday?
We don't like to get into politics of this server.
Come for a run? Come for a run?
Sunday, Chris. Anyway, before we get into my personal life.
I go to the gym. Nice, got it. Good.
Well, I do go to the gym on a Sunday. Anyway, Chris, there is this question. And guys, there is the Reddit. The good thing is the Reddit is growing very fast. For most of you guys who are, right, we've got Chris and Toxic here, who are more mature side of the community. The Reddit is actually very mature than the Discord server. You guys have probably noticed I'm probably more active there. We're so close, and I've moderated on Reddit is insane. I'm not gonna lie, but I do appreciate all like the auto moderators that exist because hey, some things I'm happy that Reddit filters caught it before I could. It's like someone's asking for like weight loss advice and people are just roasting them for no reason. But it's always like one person that starts it. But yeah, the good thing is Reddit is growing very fast. The funny thing is that last week we were celebrating 60K and we're slowly getting close to 62K, which is really good. So if you're a coach, personal trainer, dietitian and stuff like that, if you want to use the Reddit and help out with it, you're more than welcome to. Just answer questions, plug, promo, whatever you want to. I do think that Chris, lovely Chris, has been doing it and he's been ripping all the spoils. So everyone is also welcome to. And also, if you're one of the people who are more on like the positivity side, the edit sides, the motivation side and stuff like that, if you guys look at my Reddit, this is why I'm literally a saint on this platform, and you can track my history.
He's a busy boy. He's a busy boy.
All I do is post motivation stuff and memes, and I make these motivation stuff and memes. I make sure to add my my what do you call it, watermarks. But yeah. Just make sure to check it out. If you haven't already, it's really good. And it's one of the many Reddits that I've been creating lately because some Reddits have been getting banned and the domains have been up for grabs. Hey, one man's loss is another man's benefit. Anyway, so feel free to check it out. You guys are always cute. So cool. Why were we talking about Reddit? Reddit question. What do you want to say, Chris? Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Reddit's actually very good because, like you can see, you can give a lot of information and you get people a chance to give a full response to it. If you ask a question in fitness, for example, it's great. People can get to it, but it's going to disappear within 5 seconds and it's quite hard to have a continuous conversation about it. So if you do want a more detailed response and you want like a more people's time, like I can spend more time on a Reddit answer than I can on a Discord question most of the time.
Yeah, perfectly agree. And welcome LeBron James, and thank God that Lobster isn't here to do that joke again. Chris, I would appreciate you if you can read this because I am too stupid to. But yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay. Right.
Do I need to zoom in?
Get the MA out.
Wait. Can I just?
No,
I
it's
can
all good.
probably
I can
send
see.
it to you. Okay. All right. Let me zoom in and make it.
It's all. I can read it on the screen. It's fine. I can read it on the screen. Okay. What can I do to improve my getting in shape routine? This is a fairly broad question, but I'll break it down a little here. In January this year, I went to the doctor and he told me to borderline high blood pressure, okay? was overweight and that I need to make some changes. Pretty simple, kind of shakes up your life when you get a result like that. Very true. So I made a bunch of changes immediately. In January, I was 259 pounds. Following that appointment, I took a step back and kind of rewrote my life in a way, as drastically as I could, because I struggled very hard with follow through due to emotional and mental issues. Okay. Cut out all soda except for carbonated water. That's a great start. I cut out nearly all processed high in fat, high in sodium foods. Excellent, primarily snack foods. And switched to snacks of fruit, rice, crackers, and hummus. Nice, strong start. I changed my entire diet so that my dinners are always some variation of chicken, rice, hot sauce, and occasionally some veggies thrown in for good measure. Always had the veggies. I varied the protein a tiny bit here, and I'm there as I'm fond of chicken. I kind of stuck to that protein. Not the end of the world. Oh, and I went from having not eating breakfast for the past 15 years to having a healthy smoothie full of low-fat Greek yogurt, fruits, protein, soy milk, and smoothie cubes every morning. Very, very strong start. Good bookend there. That's a really good idea for consistency, by the way. If you can bookend your day with a good meal, what happens in the middle is less important. So you have a consistent breakfast, consistent evening meal. That's a great way to lock in at least half your day already. I basically went from basically from 0 activity a day to buying a walking pad, nice, and eventually graduating to a treadmill, brilliant. What I started doing was 45 minutes each day on a flat walking pad. It's a strong start. Wow. Now I'm doing 1.5 hours a day at 4% incline at 2.2 miles per hour speed. It's a lot of cardio every day. Jesus, that's about 10 hours a week. This is what I did, and more or less what I've stuck with since January. I'm down to 225 pounds, and I feel at this point I feel amazing. Wow, so that's what 34 pounds lost. It's impressive. My question is, looking at all this, is anything else I can improve on? Can you scroll down a little later? Scroll down a little bit. Could I improve, do differently, add into my routine, meals, exercise, etc., to improve this even more? I struggle to do research within the fitness space because there is so much information out there. There is, and it gets really overwhelming at times. 100%. So any advice would be appreciated. My end goal is to hit at least that 200-pound mark and maybe pick up a hobby that I've stayed away from since I was a kid because of my weight. Wow, that's a really impressive post. It sounds like you're doing a really good job. It sounds like doing almost everything right, doing really well for that. I would say the next step would be looking at some sort of strength training, to be honest. I think that would be a really good addition if there's time for that. Access to a gym. I say bodyweight exercises, but if you are quite overweight and undertrained, bodyweight exercises can be very difficult to do. If you're a skinny little guy, if you're a teenager, you're really skinny, bodyweight exercises are great because you're not moving much resistance. It's really easy. If you are coming from an overweight background, it can be very challenging. So I would say this person, if they can add in some strength training, nothing too rigorous, but 2 times a week, make a great benefit to them. This sounds like a great question of you, Toxic, actually.
So I would say I don't think I could have put together a list of like better things that I would like to see more than what they did. Like sure. they cut out the I would say the easy stuff that contributes more to obesity, the snacks and the sodas, which is like the huge things. And they started. So I would say, and please, I'm nitpicking here in the big because most of the good stuff is already here. I would have loved to see more vegetables. It says occasionally some vegetables for good measure. I mean, it's a start, absolutely. Eat more of them because they'll help you. They'll keep you fuller for longer, and it has a bunch of nutrients in it that you need. And so that's probably it from the dietary side. Try to get more fruits and vegetables, and maybe if you want to look into cooking more. So not just chicken and rice, but I understand that chicken and rice is very practical because you can bulk the shit out of it. But look into other sources of carbs, look into potatoes, look into pasta, look into lentils and beans and chickpeas and that kind of stuff. Look into, well, I guess, unless there's religious instances, look into pork, look into beef, depending on what you can afford and what
fish
your
as well
tells you.
Fish.
Yeah, and fish. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he's already lost close to 60 pounds, which is amazing. Or was it 60? No, 225.
35 pounds, I think.
Yeah,
it's 35
that's
pounds.
still an amazing job.
Huge.
So, yeah. So first off, be proud of yourself and pat yourself on the back because it's not easy. And it sounds like they're in a good mental place based on how they're writing.
Sounds very sensible. I think it's she. Yeah. Anything I also think now reading it again is water intake. Are they drinking enough? Is she drinking enough water during the day? That could be a great thing to check.
she mentioned that there's so much information out there. One thing you could do, of course, is come to the Effective Fitness Discord and type in / beginner or / routine, or ask questions in chat, and we'll help you. But apart from that, just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think I could have orchestrated a better prioritization than cutting out snacks and sodas first, and then eating regularly and being active. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree totally. And I just saw my comment there. I just thought, have I just completely contradicted myself what I said before? But no, I think that's quite consistent. That's not too bad. I'm glad I didn't say one thing in the comment and then completely change it now. That would make it look quite bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but yeah, appreciate it that you've answered this. And also appreciate you very much, Toxic, as well. I personally, I'm starting to, and this is no offense to the Discord guys. I don't know why this guy's comments got removed. Like maybe he's been spamming on other, which is weird because I've noticed this thing about Reddit. It's so funny. I'm about to big up Reddit while I'm cursing it out. Because of the culture I've cultivated on the subreddit, like there'll be someone who's so wholesome on my subreddit, and you go to their page and you see the other subreddits and they're commenting.
You can't. No.
How can you be so good on this one? That's like the complete opposite on another. It's like, yeah, that's one thing I like about Reddit. You can scroll to people's histories, like you know if someone's a good person or a bad person. So this did look like a pretty decent answer, but I guess they've been being naughty and other. You can even tell by the name, right?
The bad egg somewhere. The bad egg somewhere, isn't it?
Look, it's probably banned. Yeah, account has been suspended. Reddit is just it's a fun.
To get banned on Reddit's pretty bad as well.
Yeah, Reddit's, not even from a subreddit.
It's quite banned on Reddit.
Yeah, like you heard, like a lot of subreddits have been getting banned.
Sketchy shit.
Yeah, I've been claiming some domains.
Keep it wholesome.
Got like
keep it wholesome. Infinity
Stones,
like Infinity Stones. Oh my god, look at him go.
Yeah, and they're all almost successful. But periodically.
What the hell is Anime Company? What is that? What is the
Anime? Oh, it's because you know.
I don't know. I don't wish to know. I retract my question.
Dude, there's nothing on it. Why do you just judge me? It's for like it's a chatbot. What this
based
guy
on experience is all. It's based on experience.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get an anime community going on. This guy's sinister.
You do very well from this server, mate. You'll do very well from this server.
They're one of our
take
sponsors.
Half the people out and just shove them in.
What's it called?
Yukihara?
Sculpt. Oh no. That's Yuki's own is separate. But I don't want to talk about my future plans and just all these other stuff. But a lot of
don't. Building secret.
Hey, haters are gonna hate.
Keep it low key. Keep on low key.
But yeah, the subreddit is
don't involve in the anime companion.
Chris, Naruto, Guts, who else? Itachi. All these guys have inspired C-Bomb and all your favorite gym influencers.
You don't know my favorite gym influencers.
Hey, if it's not C-Bomb, then I don't want to hear it. No, I'm kidding. But all jokes aside, yeah, the subreddit is there. And as you can see, I am trying my hardest. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for clicking on those mod tools. That sometimes it's not even, I think it's just stuff people do. Oh yeah, okay, dipshit. Yeah, some people do tend to argue with each other, but I'm trying to learn from the experience on the Discord. So anyone who's like more older and more, getting more mature. There's this guy, I don't know if it, certainly saw it, Chris. I didn't know if it was like a real post with the.
Oh, I did respond to that. I gave a proper response to that as well. I gave a proper response to that.
Yeah,
as well.
You said.
Just saying.
Yeah. But I love the moderating on Reddit is a lot easier than Discord, especially if you don't have time. It does it for you, which is nice.
Nice. Discord is a mess. Oh my god.
Cool. Do we have any last minute questions? If not, thank you very much for your time. It's okay. We don't judge if you make a wife with chat.
We do judge a bit.
I'm willing to be a free tester. No, I didn't make him. I just know I didn't make him. I just know there's a lot of them. And a lot of them have been like, I don't know, they always reach out. It's like, hey, can we? I'm like, no, because obviously.
They don't reach out to me. All I'm going to say, they reach out to me. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyway, so just giving them their community and their own platforms to promote on. But all jokes aside, thank you very much, Toxic. you are more than welcome to be a constant in the community.
Yeah, please come back. Please come back.
In the podcast. Thank you very much, Chris. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Ocean and Wit, for joining. Really solid, probably the best podcast we've had in a while. And huge shout out to people like you, Candy. And there was that other person who asked really good text questions. I forgot your name. Maybe it was Looney, one of them. Celeste.
Yeah, Looney's a good questions.
Yeah, all of you guys, absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll try and sort out the clips on the VOD this weekend. Bye. Bye-bye. Discord
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Discord podcast weekend. Losers.